Welcome back to the Len Miller Room on this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. For this segment, we're joined by volleyball head coach Jaime Gordon. And once again, Coach Gordon, welcome to the program. We're glad to have you on.
Thanks, Matt. Good to be on.
The spring season in gear right now. And, Coach, even though these matches don't count for records or anything like that, tell us a little bit about how the spring has been going. You've got 5 matches under your belt, and you've got to get a lot of experience for the returnees, especially those freshmen now that have had a year under their belt, and they're now in their spring season.
Yeah, spring's a kind of a fun time for us. It's an opportunity for us to kind of actually take some steps back, really focus on technique, individual development. And so what happens is when you work that, you start to see a little bit of a learning curve. You know, they'll kind of drop down a little bit because they're doing something new, and then hopefully, as things start to click for them, then you start to see that performance and some things step out and really come to fruition there. And we're starting to see that as we got into competition. We've got our setter Colby Cameron, who now is taking over the offensive reins, replacing Caitlin Clark, who had a great career for us, and it's been nice to see her really step into that leadership role, and she's doing a great job. We had 2 middles that were kind of banged up throughout the season, that went through some postseason surgery in Hannah Sagala and Laura McDermott. Now they're healthy, they're able to get into the full swing of things, so it's been exciting to see what they could do. And then we've actually put a pretty heavy load already on Courtney Smith, freshman outside. And she's been doing a fantastic job. And one of the nice pieces that we do return from last year's team is our defensive and ball control core. With Leslie Shellhaas and Lindsay Roth have been doing a really nice job in allowing us to do some things with our offense and start putting some pieces in there. The other part with the spring is that we have a transfer in Alex Fitzmaurice that's had to sit out, still can't compete with us in the spring, but's been able to do a lot more now in the spring for us, and she's really making some great strides as well.
One match we do want to highlight here, that was here at Weatherby Gym just last week. You played Dayton. A great opportunity to host. Dayton finished last year, I believe, 19th in the American Volleyball Coaches Top 25. And anytime you get to host, whether it be spring, fall, host a top 20 team, it's amazing. You guys, looking at the scores, you won 25-16, 25-14, 25-23, and 25-21. So you swept Dayton, a top 20 team here last week. Talk a little bit about that match, a great accomplishment for this team.
Well, and Dayton's got a tremendous program, a great history, and even though they finished 19th, they actually spent most of the season last year in the top 10. And so we were looking forward to the opportunity just to compete against a quality program and some great athletes, and we were pleased with the way that our team performed. They really took charge of that opportunity. And of course, in the spring, you've got people, I know Dayton had some people that were playing a little bit out of position and things like that. But I think it was a good opportunity for us to really apply a lot of those things that we've been working on. And I was incredibly impressed by the way that we served throughout the match. The way that we competed, there was a lot of long rallies in that match, and we were winning those, and so that I think should show some promise as we move forward into the next season.
Yeah, you talked about players like Laura McDermott and Courtney Smith in particular. In that match, Laura had 12 kills and hit over 300. Courtney led you with 14 kills and also had 11 digs. So definitely that shows the progress, especially Courtney. She had a really good freshman season, but I know you're looking for her to step up this year and kind of take the place maybe of someone like an Ellie Robertson or that's departed. Talk a little bit about individually Courtney's progress.
I think one of the things that's really nice for Courtney now is she's really building her complete game. It's very difficult, at least in the sport of volleyball, to come in as a freshman and have to take on a playing role because when we report for preseason, we're just 2.5 weeks out from our first match. And so there's not a whole lot of time to do much fixing and kind of building. It's more preparation to compete. And so she's really taking full advantage of this spring and the opportunities to grow in some areas. And then she's applying it well on the court. And I have to also give Colby Cameron, who's been doing a really nice job of delivering the ball to her. And the other piece that Colby's been doing a nice job is not just running our offense, but being an offensive threat. She, in that match, I think had 8 kills for us or something like that as a setter.
8 kills, no errors, and also 8 digs in the match. So.
Yeah, she's really doing a nice job, and to her, to her credit, she's been busting her tail. She's probably been working as hard as anybody, if not harder than most, and I think it's really starting to show.
One of the trademarks, I think, in your program is the setter. You've brought in a lot of great setters over the years, and it seems like you've got a great system down where you've got a junior or a senior setter that really has in that leadership role, and even some All-American setters as well.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back with Caitlin Barber and Caitlin Clark. But then you've got someone waiting in the wings who can really learn from those players, and come their sophomore, junior seasons, they're ready to step in and take that role right away.
Yeah, and Colby's done a really nice job of that, and she's been working very hard the last 2 years to position herself. And really, even from her freshman year, she stepped into some very difficult situations when we've needed to call upon her. And we did that at Eastern Kentucky her freshman year, at Austin Peay when we were down 1 set, and she stepped in and really took charge. And so it's nice having that type of progression. And really, as we look into next year, we'll be bringing in another setter, Bailey Nickel, who's another outstanding individual that I think will really be able to continue that tradition of great setters that we've been able to build.
Jaime Gordon, head volleyball coach here at Morehead State, is our guest on this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. You hit on one player that you're going to be bringing in. Let's talk a little bit about, you've actually got 4 players right now that you've signed for this coming fall. You've talked about Bailey Nickel, a setter, coming in. You've also got Stacy Silver, Hope Relema, and Sydney Schuler, who are coming in. Let's talk a little bit individually, let the fans know. We released those a little while ago on MSUEagles.com, but let's kind of individually talk about what you'll be adding this year. Let's first start with Stacy Silver.
Sure. Stacy's a great defensive player, very athletic, very strong, comes from a great club program in Circle City up in Indianapolis, has had a lot of success at the high school level as well. And I think what's going to be exciting for her is having her in a gym for a full year with Leslie Shellhouse and Lindsay Roth, and giving those guys an opportunity to kind of pass on this, again, another strong tradition in that position of great defensive players. Stacy, along with everybody else in our class, great character individuals, great teammates, do a fantastic job of making those around them better. So I think she's going to be a fun addition to our defensive core.
And you've got Hope coming from Whitehall, Michigan. Talk a little bit about Hope joining your team.
Hope's a fantastic athlete. Solid 6-rotation player, helped lead her high school team, Whitehall High School up in Michigan, to their best season in that school's history. Was a finalist for Miss Volleyball in Michigan and Gatorade Player of the Year. But a very complete player, tremendous athlete, very quick, great ball control, very crafty, smart, high volleyball IQ. So again, another great profile person for us to bring in.
And then finally, you've got Sydney Schuler from up a very familiar school with Eagle fans. Notre Dame Academy has produced some great players that have come to MSU. Talk a little bit about Sydney joining your team.
Yeah, we're continuing a little tradition of a little Panda tradition, Notre Dame Academy Pandas, and we have just graduated Caitlin Clark, who went to that high school, Leslie Shellhouse, who's currently on the roster, and Sydney's a middle, great, springy, athlete, plays with a lot of passion. I think she's got a tremendously high ceiling as far as where she'll be able to play. She can do some things in the middle, but actually her club team has even kind of asked her to take on some roles as an outside hitter. I think she can play on the right pin and do some great things. And she's just a very hungry individual as well. She's just looking forward to the opportunity, and we're excited to have her and really kind of all four of those guys in a really solid class for us.
Let's hit a little bit on the something that I know is dear to your heart, and coming up here in the next few years is the new volleyball facility that's going to be taking place actually right here in the Academic Athletics Center, the old pool that's going to be transferred into the volleyball facility. And when it comes to fruition, I know it's going to be one of the best facilities in the country. Give us a little update on what's going on with facilities and fundraising and how things are going with that.
We're moving right along on it. There's we've had tremendous support from administration, from Dr. Andrews, Brian. We've been out raising some funds for it. We've had a lot of our alumni and fans of Eagle Volleyball that have committed and are helping support these efforts. The facility itself is going to be fantastic. There's a tremendous amount of space, and the commitment, again, from administration to say, let's not just do this. If we got an opportunity, let's do it right. Let's make it the best that it possibly can be. And I really believe wholeheartedly that when it's all said and done, it will very well be the premier volleyball facility in the country. From what we can do from a practice and training standpoint, the type of playing environment that our fans will be able to enjoy, the support facilities for our student athletes, from weight room to locker rooms and player lounge, and new office suites for the coaches, and pretty much everything that we've been able to think about. We've spent time looking at other facilities around the country and seeing what other programs have, not just in volleyball, but in other sports like basketball, and have really been able to do a nice job of implementing those pieces in this facility plan. So we're excited to continue that process and moving in, and I think it'll be something that our fans will be real excited to be a part of.
That's excellent, very excellent. Lastly, today, let's talk a little bit about, you've got some camps coming up this summer. You've got team camps, you've got individual camps, and especially your team camp. And I've worked a couple of team camps around the country, but I think the one thing that's special about your camp, you may have some other camps where teams just come in, you're really giving them just a place to play. But in your camps, you're also giving those teams team instruction, team building, not just say, let's play some games.
Right.
You guys, take them and show them how to build a team as well.
Yeah, we've been able to really grow quite a camp experience for the teams that come in. Last year we had 38 teams come in on campus, and I think when you start that type of environment, it's almost like a festival type environment. We've got great facilities on campus with the dorms. Our summer conferencing staff is phenomenal. They do a great job of presenting Morehead State and the university in a great way. And then the staff that we're able to put together between my staff, our players, other college coaches, and college student athletes that we bring in have really been able to connect well. So it's really been kind of a growing piece, and actually we've got the largest team camp in the state right now. So it's something that we hold a lot of pride to, but I think it's a pretty good product that we're able to put out.
Again, those team camps will be in June and July, and you can go to msueagles.com on the volleyball page, and there are links to those camps, and certainly those coaches and teams that are interested can download those forms and send them in to you. Coach, thanks for being on the program today. We look forward to the rest of the spring season, and look forward to another great fall season coming up.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
I'm Matt Schabert. We'll be back with tennis coach Kevin Fulton on this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show.